Hello, hello, and welcome to ohmTown Daily News Show, the news show powered by ohmTown.com. That's that right there. Today is June 6th, 2024. It's season 3, episode 158, and yes, this is a time machine episode. I had mayoral duties that I had to attend to yesterday, so I couldn't make it to the show. So I'm making it up now, and I'm not making up the news. I'm just reporting what other people are reporting from yesterday. Today we're going to be talking about a rechargeable light recall, a 5th Walt Disney World theme park, maybe, shooting a Lamborghini from a helicopter with fireworks, sidewalk robots I say will never exist, ancient artifacts that puzzle, a Griddle review with clever features, according to the author. GOG will let you bequeath your game library, something that I've been talking about for close to 15 years now. Not GOG specific. Scallop farmers sued for nearly $1 million, a Trackmania Bounty Map, and faster earthquake alerts for California. Again, this is a time machine episode, so I'm going to go through this pretty quick. The sentient AI from the future is not available as they are working on a computationally intensive project, which means that they can't work here. So everything is powered by ohmTown.com. Go over, become a citizen. While you're doing that, also follow us here on twitch.tv/ohmTown. Go over to youtube.com/ohmTown and follow us there. There's a Discord, there is a Patreon, there's a TikTok, and there's YouTube Shorts. But hey, I need you to like and subscribe everywhere. The podcast actually has all 1,000 episodes across the 7 different podcasts now available, so you can catch those wherever you catch pods. ohmTown Daily News Show, Reality Hacker, Wanted, Warcrafters, The Continuity Report, Technology Today, 4-Wheel Tech, and I'm working on Mix War still. I'd really like it to come out. There's some complexities with that, but we're going to get it going, damn it. Again, everything is powered by ohmTown. All right, folks, let's get into the news. The very first article is over in ohmTown Daily. It's actually from ABC News, but we aggregate just a little snippet, just so you know. We do this little bit of an intro, not on every episode, but just in case. We get this little snippet from the source. We don't screen scrape or anything like that. So, and we don't keep pictures or anything either, not unless the provider of the news actually attaches it. Anyway, more than 1.2 million rechargeable lights are under a recall for fire hazards following a reported death. And what's really interesting about this is I almost bought these. Again, the article is by the Associated Press, but it's published at abcnews.go.com. And this is what it looks like. There are these little kind of flat panel lights that you can recharge, and then you can stick them somewhere, and they have motion sensors, or you can tap them and they'll activate. There's different kinds, but apparently more than 1.2 million rechargeable lights are under a recall in the US and Canada following a report of one consumer death. The manufacturer, Good Earth Lighting, said that it actually knows of other instances of property or personal harm, and they've now recalled them. Good Earth Lighting now recalled integrated light bars that have batteries that can overheat, cause the unit to catch fire, and they can pose serious burn and smoke inhalation risks. The products impacted by the recall can be identified by their model numbers RE1122 and RE1145, RE1362, and finally RE1250. They were sold at Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Mayer, I guess. I've never heard of that one, but it must be up in Canada. I'm not sure. And they were all sold between October 2017 and January 2024. an additional 37,800 were sold in Canada. So this is one of the problems that I have with things that don't go through the commission, UL rating, and etc. There's certain bodies that you have to go through to get certified. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Doggone it, I keep doing this and I need to fix it. So what you can do when you come into the chat is you can go over to the chat and type in !ODNS, and that'll give you all of the articles from the last episode. But I did not do that yet, so doink, there you go. Now you can do it. So if you are in chat, you can hit !ODNS, that's for ohmTown Daily News Show, and it will spit out all of the URLs. They're a little wonky, but I think that's because of the way that the bot interacts with the channel, and I don't have it formatted. I did it kind of incorrectly. But anyway, there are all of the URLs. You can go through it and follow the link. If you are interested in the podcast, you can actually hit !pod. That'll give you all 7 of the podcasts that are out. And yeah, each show has its own thing. So if you want to know about the show notes, you hit !show notes. And that will give you the commands that are necessary to pull up each individual show's show notes. Ta-da! Anyway, I prefer that these products go through US-based verification, that they're not gonna, I don't know, set your house on fire or explode right next to you. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in Hatch Ideas. A 5th Walt Disney World theme park could be coming soon. So here's what this organization knows. This is an entrepreneur. A unanimous agreement has been reached in primary voting between Disney and Central Florida Tourism Oversight District on Wednesday. And what does that mean? Emily Rella over at entrepreneur.com put the article together, and it would allow for the existing theme park to expand outward, building additional hotels and retail spaces, and allow Disney the opportunity to create an additional theme park if the company desires. The project is expected to cost upwards of $17 billion over the next 2 decades. Let's follow the money, considering Florida and the area around Disney has been contentious as of late. Let's follow the money. The agreement would also see at least $10 million allocated toward housing projects and donating land for public infrastructure improvements in the area. Disney would be required to use local contractors for construction projects should the expansion plan be approved, and would be required to make sure that 50% of all contracted business be local to Florida. Oh, okay. That's kind of interesting. Referred to as the 5th gate by Disney fanatics. Disney CEO Bob Iger referenced the potential project during a Q1 2024 earnings call back in Florida. I guess they've settled their disagreement with the governor of Florida. Let's keep going. The next article is over in ohmTown Daily. A YouTuber was charged for shooting a Lamborghini with fireworks from a helicopter, but hey, they got their money, right? They got their clicks, so it doesn't really matter. The stunt involved using a helicopter to blast a supercar with a barrage of fireworks from above. I won't even... There's a video of it, but I'm not going to bother. Dan Gooding over at Newsweek.com put the article together. There's stills on the actual article, but the now removed clip titled "Destroying a Lamborghini with Fireworks" appeared on Alex Troy's, I wish I wouldn't have even said their name, channel in July 2023. I guess it's been around for a while, so what's the big deal, right? Well, apparently it's illegal to have explosive devices on a helicopter. Actually, on an aircraft, unless you're a military aircraft, of course. Yeah, I don't know. it's so wasteful. I don't know. It's sad, but hey, it's somebody else's money. They can do whatever they want to with it, I suppose. I think it's the bigger problem is that society embraces it. Meanwhile, there's a lot of, and it's not a lot, but it's enough to make these people millionaires. And then there's a lot of other people that are also bent out of shape about the idea of all of that waste. I'm in that camp, where I'm like, so much good can be done, but they're making money, and somebody else will silence me by saying, well, my God, it's somebody else's time and money and all of that. What's it to you? Well, if everybody takes that attitude about everything, then it's going to be pure freaking chaos. Anybody can do anything. Oh, well, there's no harm. Well, no, not necessarily. Just because no harm came to anyone doesn't mean that it couldn't have happened. And so the end result doesn't necessarily mean that's all that matters. Some people it does, but hey, I want to be the change I want to see in the world. So there you have it. You won't catch me doing this, no matter how much you pay me. I will more than likely just call it out. So the DOT investigator also stated in the document that Choi told his followers about the plan before making the film, saying that he would need to go to Las Vegas to purchase the explosives as they're illegal in California. He went on to say that the cost of the sponsored stunt would be nearly $3,000, as these fireworks are expensive and they plan on letting them all off at the same time to make a crazy hectic fire show or a fireworks show. He told his nearly 1 million subscribers. But people want to see it, and there's so many other people that embrace it, that are interested in this. So, you go where the audience is, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, don't want to spend too much time. The next article is one where I titled it "Sidewalk Robots Will Never Exist," and I'll explain why here in a second. Sidewalk robots could shovel snow or act as crossing guards. This is at ohmTown Daily. They'll never act as crossing guards unless they block the road. Plain and simple. Cars will go around. I had somebody at the scene of an accident drive on the shoulder around me as I'm jackknifed across two lanes trying to go around safely. A person went around me in their company's vehicle, between me and the emergency vehicles and the debris. I was the only one that had the safe path through it. They drove over the debris, got caught up next to the emergency vehicle as I was driving through the one clear lane. And so they were pinned again between me and the emergency vehicle. I was completely blown away by this. So I don't put stupid beyond anyone's grasp. Yeah, you're gonna. And so robots as crossing guards, if they sit there and they waddle out into the street, somebody's going to go around them because there's no human there for accountability until we get to the point where the cameras actually have direct accountability, which it could happen, but that's not in the design now. A new study finds that when roboticists and people with disabilities collaborate on robot designs, interesting ideas emerge that could make existing robots more accessible and inspire new uses. In their research, Carnegie Mellon University School of Computer Science faculty members Sarah Fox and Nicholas Martellaro highlight potential issues sidewalk robots encounter during deployment and propose solutions to mitigate them before the robots hit the street. But I think the bigger issue here, and by here I mean over at futurity.org is where this is housed. It's a post by Carnegie Mellon, but I don't know who the byline actually is. They're sitting there saying, well, they're referencing disabilities collaborate on robot designs, which I'm all for robots helping out. Totally. That's what I think that they should be used for, just like artificial intelligence. should be a tool and not the answer, but a tool to obtain information so that you can verify it as fact and then utilize it as information. Shoveling snow, awesome, fine. But if it is nothing more than a robot out there, some butthead is going to mess with them, tip them over, damage them, whatever. And then there's accountability. And because it's going to be just property, they're going to go, well, here's a fine, yet the thing has been damaged and it won't function as proper until they repair it or replace it. Meanwhile, no snowplow or whatever else. I don't know. All I know is that every time somebody has experimented with socializing robots, there's some idiot out there that ruins it for everybody else. And that's the problem, There's a few people where it makes life suck because they want to ruin it for everybody else. In interviews for the study, roboticists did acknowledge a lack of consideration for users with mobility challenges as a common problem in the field. However, they also expressed a desire for better industry standards and regulations that could help account for the needs of a variety of users. Similar to the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, these policies could drive the technical design not only for delivery robots, but for other types of public robots. And I think that would be great, I think that mobility type robots, exoskeleton suits, would be tremendous. And we'll get there eventually. And I'm not even worried about those. Those are ultimately human powered. They're coupled to human beings. They enable a human being. But automated devices, them delivering pizza, somebody's going to tip it over and steal the pizza because there's no human there. There's no accountability there. When something happens, somebody's going to say there wasn't any harm to a person. It's not a big deal, that kind of thing. But that's a sociopathic perception. There's more over at this article, but really what it comes down to is a new study finds that when roboticists and people with disabilities collaborate on robot designs, interesting ideas emerge that could help or make existing robots more accessible and inspire new uses. And I would go beyond this, that I think more people should have a vested interest in robotic technology. Because it's the plurality of humanity that makes all of these options appear, because you don't know what you don't know until somebody explains something to you. And that's largely why I like doing this show, because there's so much out there that you just don't know everything until somebody, well, not everything. You never know everything. You have to run across it, or somebody has to show it to you, right? Or you have to do that type of work. Subject matter expertise. That's when you find out about things. Let's keep going though. There's 5 mysterious ancient artifacts that still puzzle archaeologists. Not in totality, but in this article. It's over in the Mobile channel. Archaeologists are often described as stumped or baffled by their discoveries, but in reality, specialists have a good grasp of what most historical objects were created for. There are a few exceptions to this rule. The Mobile channel is where it's housed, but it's actually over at phys.org. Natasha Harlow from The Conversation put the article together, and while I agree to a point about some of this, there is no way. No. Specialists have a good grasp of what most historical objects were used for or were created for. I think that there's many that are no. It's a guess. It's an educated guess at best. 2 dodecahedra or icosahedron and on display, I guess at the Rheinsix Land Museum in Bonn, Germany. Now, these have been found all over the place. I hate that when I mouse over it, it puts this fog of war over the picture. But anyway, these Neolithic stone balls, over 425, have been found. They're generally the size of a cricket ball and made from a variety of stones. Their surfaces are sculpted, sometimes into raised circular discs and sometimes deep incisions defining knobs and lobes. In high relief, decoration makes the form of spirals or concentric shapes, echoing those found on pottery. Some have been found in burials or settlements. The original use of the stone balls has been a source of much debate right back to the earliest discovery. According to this, they don't know, right? And I don't think that they know. Could they have been used for throwing? Well, then why design them? If they were used as weapons of war, why sit there and etch stuff onto them? Is it for gripping? I don't know. Toy? I don't know. It says measuring weights, household ornaments, a mnemonic device. All right. Ball bearings to move megaliths or holders for yarn. The answer still escapes. So nobody knows what these are for, just like those Akosa and dodecahedra. Yeah, and then they talk about the Roman dodecahedra. Intriguing objects. They're actually hollow. Like there's nothing inside these things. They've been shaped and have holes in them that go all the way through from each side to each side. They typically have patterns that line up, right? And then they have these little knobs on each where the facets meet the apex. And so it says no representations of these objects are known in ancient literature or art. They don't conform to a standard size. I swear I learned about these as actually there's hold on a second. Doing it live. I thought that there were pictures of these painted, but perhaps not. I'll have to look around. I swear I saw this, but yeah, nobody knows what they are. It says no representations have been known in ancient art or literature. It's quite fascinating to see these things because they look like those spheres, but they're hollow. What else do they say in here? Although armchair experts will tell you their granny used one to knit gloves, archaeologists are undecided on their intended use. Yeah, some people say that they were used for yarn, like making a yarn ball, but no, that's not. I don't think that's how it works. Neolithic chalk drums. In 1889, 3 carved cylinders of chalk were discovered in a child's grave in Fulton, North Yorkshire. The Fulton chalk drums have geometric decorations and what appear to be eyes, noses, and eyebrows. A 4th undecorated drum was found at Levant in West Sussex in 1993. Another one, highly ornate example, was excavated at Burton Agnes in East Yorkshire in 2015. These are chalk. So they're not there to be robust tools. The Burton Agnes drum was buried with a chalk ball, a bone pin, and the remains of 3 children, one of whom was dated to BC 3005 to 2890. So they call them drums, but what were they really? Just giving them a name makes it like drum. That's easily approachable, implies that we know what it is, and that's not necessarily true. I just realized that I'm not on my chat. Sorry. I haven't been reading the chat. Okay. Anyway, Bronze Age lock rings. So frequently unearthed in matching pairs, they can be plain or have delicate geometric engravings like this one does. These actually look like they're fused wire. So recent interpretations have suggested that they were nose rings, earrings, or hair ornaments, but they say none of them have been satisfactory as explanation. Romano-British cosmetic grinders. There's no picture for this one, it seems. But it says cosmetic grinders were small copper alloy kits made in 2 parts. One half is the mortar, a long and curving grooved receptacle, and the other is the pestle, either rod-like and pointed or arched like a rocker shape. They often have loops for suspension and human or animal-shaped terminals. But they're implying that they're cosmetic sets. Useware analysis has shown these objects were rubbed together with a lateral grinding action, and they may have been superseded by a flat marble pallets used across the Roman Empire. Although these worked in a fundamentally different way, using a metal scoop or stone tool to mix ingredients together in a circular motion. So they don't know they don't really care about the function. They say that they know what it was, but they don't know what was being prepared. Suggestions have included medicines, aphrodisiacs, cosmetics, narcotics. The contents of a mortar have never been successfully analyzed. So this article is really neat, and there's more over in this article. I didn't read it all, just kind of highlighted some of it. So Natasha Harlow over at The Conversation was external. You can go to theconversation.com. Or you can just go to phys.org and it'll be there as well. The next thing here, I'm going to be really quick about this last one. I love flat top griddles, but I don't like maintaining them. They're a pain. And you have to babysit them throughout even winter and whatnot, because protecting them once doesn't necessarily mean you did a good enough job. And they always seem to rust and get dirty, so you have to always clean them, get them fixed again and again. You know, you have to sand them, grind them. Actually, you don't sand them per se, but you use a grinding stone to grind off the rust that might have happened because of winter if it's left out. And you typically leave them out on your deck or whatever. But Weber Slate Griddle review, a smash burger machine with clever features, and because it's Friday and it's not the holiday, but the weekend was right around the corner today, because it's a Time Machine episode, I figured I'd talk about it. So a modular side table, digital temperature display provide useful assistance. Billy Steele over at Engadget.com put the article together. This is a really good looking griddle. And if anything would be better than a cheaper one, mainly because if you basically, when you spend more, particularly on a griddle, it's more solidly built. The wheels are better. The side tables are stronger. They don't rust. You have better control over the flame. This one actually seems to protect and hold the tank in the right position. This looks like it has storage underneath it as well. It looks pretty good. The Weber Slate is $649, and it says and up, but I'm not sure if that is what the going rate is going to be when you actually get this. It says that it has even heat distribution, rust resistant cooktop, which is resistant. Oh, and they even make that mention. Rust resistant is not rust proof. And you can sit there and think that you've protected this thing like nobody's business, but your conditioning may not have been adequate. Just saying. Sorry, 1 second. And I'm telling you, you think that you did a bang up job protecting your griddle, but no, you didn't. And then you go out and you find that you've got basically a rusted mess. So they say here up in the thing, up in the URL via Yahoo, it's $649, but later on it says $799. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit pricey, but it's a one and done thing. You'll never have to really worry about buying another griddle again. They're a big chunk of metal. You take care of them and they last forever. But I'm not going to get into this too deep. it has a digital temperature display so that you know exactly where your griddle is, depending on if it has the ability to flip it from one side. Like my griddle has 3 zones, just like this one does. And you can set one really hot and one medium and one just to stay warm, or any combination therein, of course. And I think that it's just brilliant. So let me do something real quick. Sorry. Okay. Because I'm streaming to Twitch and to YouTube. And so just want to make sure that I'm in both places. So it has side tables, which are spectacular. And they look much more robust than even mine. This one actually has like a little hole in it so that you can push oil and debris down into a catch basin underneath. And it has a lip all the way around it with a higher end lip on the back side of it. And it looks like this thing closes a much tighter connection between the lid and the base. So sometimes you have to worry about wasps, insects getting inside on the off season, because this thing gets it aggregates heat. So you can sit there and go out and feel warmth coming off of it because it's a big heat sink. And some bugs and other animals like that kind of thing. So you have to be prepared to go out and chase stuff off of it, and then you have to clean it, oil it, and you have to heat it up and oil it and condition it so that it's ready for use again. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of competition out there, but for $600, $700, you can't really go wrong. You might be able to find it cheaper, others cheaper. It says the model that's closest to the base Weber slate is the 28-inch XL with a hood. It sits on more of a bare bones cart, though. There's no enclosed storage under the cooktop, and the side tables are smaller. It's typically $549, but it's currently on sale for $400. I don't know how long that sale will last, but hey, if you're interested in it, go get it. Okay, let me go on. Let me just move on to the next article. This next article is about GOG. GOG will let you bequeath your game library to someone else as long as you can prove that you're actually dead. So be prepared to wheel your corpse into GOG headquarters to verify, so that they can actually lay eyes on you. Just kidding. You can't bequeath your Steam account to your loved ones when the sad day of your passing comes around, at least not without breaking the terms of service. But it turns out you can leave your GOG games to someone else as long as everyone involved is willing to do some legwork up front. I think that this should be challenged. If I purchase something, then I purchase it. Perpetual license to use or not, I think I should be able to bequeath my shit to somebody. For crying out loud. It's such a self-enriching whatever. The greedy bastards, for crying out loud. If I've got 1,000 movies sitting in my personal library, it's my family's. You know, I'm watching it with my family. I should be able to give them to whoever I damn well please in my will. It's such a shit thing, I swear. But I think that it should be challenged, because you have no bargaining power until the system is challenged. So I think it should be a class action. Everybody who dies each year has a vested interest in bequeathing their Steam or Apple or their iTunes account, their Android account, their Game Store account, all of the places where their Epic, everything. I'm paying for something. If I'm paying for it, then I should be able to give it to somebody else. If it's a membership, then I can understand it, right? But no, that's not how it's written into the terms of service, and I think it's bullshit. So Andy Chalk over at PCGamer.com put this article together. Accounts aren't transferable, but GOG is willing to make it happen with a little help from the legal system. Essentially, you have to prove that you've met your demise and that it's been willed over to you. So in general, your GOG account and your GOG content is not transferable. However, if you obtain a copy of a court order that specifically entitles someone to your GOG personal account, the digital account attached to it, taking into account the EULAs of specific games within it, and that specifically refers to the GOG username or at least email address used to create such an account, we do our best to make it happen. We're willing to handle such a situation and preserve your GOG library, but currently we can only do it with the help of the justice system, which that is bullshit. If they wanted to do it, they could freaking do it. Said and done. End of discussion. There is zero involved with whatever else. EULAs be damned. Like, if I want to give my account to somebody, I should be able to give my account to someone. As with all things, the law lags behind real life, and corporate entities will be dragging and kicking and screaming behind the law, indeed. And everything is further complicated by the fact that game publishers, at least for now, can pretty much pull the plug on games. This might be leading to the... Oh yeah. Stop Killing Games is a thing. It's a movement. And the UK government just said you can't force a company to keep a game alive, but you can make it so that if you're going to have a live service, you have to require a subordinate server be created so that if the time comes where you pull the plug, people can still have continuity of their operations. I can spin up my own server so that I can play with my friends, whoever my friends are. I mean, again, it's this self-enriching bullshit policy. You know, they know that they can sit there and kill a game whenever they say that it isn't profitable, but I can sit there and run my Minecraft server and others. Let me see. Something's going on with my background music. It's like repeating itself and it sucks. Let me see something real quick. I wanna pull up. Okay. Right now I have 90 games that have dedicated servers running from 7 Days to Die all the way to Zombie Panic. Give me a break. And every single one of these, I can probably have my friends come. So why can't I do that with everything else? I can tell you why they don't want me to have that option. Greed. They want to control everything, and which is fine. Go ahead. You can control it. But when you decide to pull the plug, I think that you should be legally responsible to release a server that is capable. Because if you can have the server, then you can make the server released to your consumers, your customers who bought it in good faith for an operational product. It was at the time, and it would be in the future if you didn't pull the plug because it wasn't making a profit for you. So you know you can do it. Quit dragging your feet. It's slimy. Okay, let's keep going. The next article is over on ohmTown Daily. A media giant is suing Scallop farmers, plural, for $870,000, accusing them of damaging its underwater cable. Virgin Media is suing an Irish fishing trawler for $870,000 over damage to an undersea cable. The telecoms giant claims that the trawler damaged a fiber optic cable while fishing for scallops. The trawler's owner says that there's no proof that they did anything wrong. So the article is over at Business Insider. Joshua Zitzer is the author of it. And let me see, does it say anything here? They say that the Leda Susanna, an 82-foot-long Irish registered fishing vessel, according to documents filed in Ireland's High Court, the case relates to an incident that took place more than 9 years ago. Scallop fishing involves towing dredges along a seabed to catch scallops, which can inadvertently damage underwater cables, which are often thousands of miles long and usually laid on the ocean floor. Well, you know, it really sucks, but if you're just laying shit on the ocean floor and there is an entire industry that trawls the ocean floor to get scallops. Which one is really wrong? The cable really shouldn't just be open exposed, but because it's cheaper to just lay cable on the floor and hope that nothing natural happens to it. Yeah. You know, it just did it again. It's driving me nuts. There's supposed to be 72 tracks in that playlist. Anyway, the International Cable Protection Committee estimates that repairing a submarine cable can cost up to $3 million. The 2015 incident required Virgin Media to charter a repair ship and deploy a remotely operated vehicle to fix the break. Wired reported at the time this caused delays and days of repair work and slowed internet service. At a hearing on Tuesday, according to the Irish Times, Virgin Media's lawyer argued that the defendants should have been aware of the cable's location, as it was marked on industry-recognized charts and Ireland's Marine Atlas, but the defendants argue that there is no proof that the Leda Susanna was to blame. They also argued that Virgin Media would have been responsible for the damage even if the vessel had physically caused it, because it failed to take measures to bury or protect the cable. Yeah. I mean, it's open and exposed to the elements. All kinds of stuff could happen. Like what? I don't know, really. I mean, an undersea earthquake could have debris fall on it. You fix it. It's part of the operations. If you leave it exposed, then it's bound to happen naturally. You know, I don't get pissed off with neighbors because the fence rusts if it's metal, or the stain goes wonky because it rains one day. As a business with millions of customers who rely on fast and reliable connectivity, we hope that through taking this action, third parties will be better aware of the cost. All right. 9 years ago. Okay, I'm not going to linger on that. The next article is over in Warcrafters. Trackmania players have been trying to complete a challenge map so ludicrously hard that a $30,000 prize for reaching the top, and over a month after release, no one has done it. A standout moment for Trackmania has the release of Deep Dip in November 2022, a 14-floor map that represented the greatest challenge in the game's history. Each floor was put together by a different creator and asked different things of players, and the goal is simply to get to the top, but there is one very important kicker: not a single checkpoint. You miss a jump on Deep Dip and you're going all the way back to the bottom. Dun dun dun. There was a tower map that had a $1,000 challenge. Rich Stanton over at PC Gamer put the article together. I've never played this Trackmania, I don't think. So not a single player has completed Deep Dip 2, and watching their attempts is absolutely agonizing. Yeah, yesterday there was the Gorilla Collective showcase, and I streamed it, so you can go back and look at that one. There's one where you're an egg, where when you crack your egg, you turn into the egg that's inside the shell, and you have to keep on moving, and eventually you'll grow back your shell. But if you fall all the way to the ground, it's heartbreaking. I don't like games like that. It drives me nuts. But I don't like games where I have to sit there and do corpse runs too, trying to get my stuff back. All of that drives me nuts. I like casual games. I'm watching what's going on there. Today is game showcases as well, so we'll be talking about that come 5 o'clock today. So I hope y'all stick around. Let's see. So go check out Trackmania. Okay, let's go. The next article and the last one for the Time Machine episode is faster alerts for California mega quakes. Early warning system gets major upgrade. California's earthquake early warning system is getting a seismic upgrade, one that will allow residents to receive more timely alerts about shaking from an incoming megaquake. The article is over at phys.org. Rongonglin 2 or IL? I'm not sure if that's IL. from Los Angeles Times put the article together. This is the aerial view of the San Andreas Fault between Bakersfield and Santa Barbara. The upgrade, also available in Oregon and Washington, will provide features important for warnings about the big one, which is when I fall out of bed. The improvements could mean that, depending on where they are and where the quake begins, Californians would receive an earlier, more accurate estimate of magnitude before the Earth starts shaking, say from a 7.8 earthquake that begins in the San Andreas Fault near the Mexican border and ruptures the fault toward Los Angeles County. The upgrade would also improve warnings on the Pacific Northwest and California's North Coast, which are threatened by tsunamis from quakes along the Cascadia subduction zone, which I don't know if there's ever been an actual tsunami. I'll have to look. For smaller quakes, the older system worked perfectly fine, says DeGroot. Do you think that they get harassed? I am Groot. But with larger quakes, the magnitude could be underestimated for quite some time, robbing residents of crucial information in the seconds before they feel the most destructive shaking. Let's say an earthquake in Southern Andreas Fault that starts near the Mexican border ends up being an 8 earthquake, but the earliest estimate says it's a magnitude 6.5. The longer that estimate is broadcasting to phones, the less likely people are to take appropriate action. I agree. But how much of a warning are they talking about? So let's see. Yeah, they talk about the size of these earthquakes and whatnot, but what is the velocity? So like to the point where, is there a warning so far in advance that a couple of seconds actually makes that much of a difference? And is a couple of seconds really that practical? Anything is better than nothing. Sooner information is better than late, but telling somebody, hey, it's an 8, not a 6, is it going to make that much of a difference in their actions? I'd be curious to know. And not theoretical. Don't tell me theory. In theory, you know, I'm a sunflower sitting in my yard, but the reality of it is that no, I'm not. I'm some guy that's streaming to Twitch and YouTube and reading the news, talking about the news. So I'm curious about the practical, actual, reliable, actionable data that Californians, and I'm from California, so I know that whenever I received a warning, I was sitting there taking action immediately. I wasn't wondering, is this the big one? It was literally always the worst case scenario, and I'm going to take action to protect myself. Get away from windows, get away from falling, whatever, get under something sturdy. Yeah. Anyway. Interesting. Okay, so like always, we're going to go back to the welcome sign of ohmTown.com. I would refresh this, but we're in the time machine, so I'm just going to have to turn the time machine off. And that means saying bye-bye. We'll see you tomorrow for ohmTown Daily News Show. In fact, it's going to be ohmTown Daily News Show, Reality Hacker, Wanted, and Warcrafters on Saturday. In about 3 hours is the gaming showcase that's going to be coming for Friday. Let me see. I'll be a little more exact about it, or not. Yeah, so the Summer Games Fest 2024 opening showcase starts at 5 o'clock. We're going to be watching that as far as we need to. We may even postpone until tomorrow, Saturday. Since this is Thursday and we're in the time machine, so we may not even do the ohmTown Daily News Show Friday episode until Saturday, another time machine, because I want to talk about the Summer Games Fest for as long as it runs. And then maybe I'll just do it really late. I don't know. It's Friday. Okay, see you later. Oh, the time machine is hot.